We're going.
Hello. This is Good Karma Domes, do-it-yourself kind of business. This table right here is very important. It's a big triangular table. It's one of the tools we're going to be using today. You'll use it throughout the project. You might as well get started making one of these. You'll get the idea after here in a bit. This is my joiner, our joiner. This is a 6-inch Rockwell Delta. You'll need it to make your angles with. Over here is a radial arm saw, and you're going to need a radial arm saw, nail guns, the pouch. Carpenter needs a pouch, nail bag, tape measure, hammer, dress accordingly. You know, get the props. The wife will love it. You know, today, to get started, we're going to be starting on a smaller project. And we're going to be making chicken soup.
No.
So this is what we're going to start with. Is a nice big bird. This is a dark Brahmin. This is one of my wife's chickens. And we'll get a pot of water here in a minute and get started on this beautiful bird. All right, good.
Here we go.
All right. First thing we're going to do is set everything up so that it's calibrated about right. And to do that, I'm going to cut 3 blocks out of this 2x6. And just be square cut. I'm going to be cutting 3 blocks. Square. It can be roughly about the same length to be good. These are 5.5 inches. They come factory that way. This is the joiner. Now, like I say, we're going to be working off the measurements. So we're going to dial everything in. Once everything is on the money, it'll read true and everything will set flat. You'll see what I mean. If we work by the angles may be off one way or the other. So we're just going to guess at this. We're starting with the big triangles first. The reason we do that, if there's a mistake, you can always use the long lumber and cut it down shorter for a shorter triangle or a shorter strut. So I've got this set at 9 degrees. Actually, it looks like it's a little more than 9 degrees. It should be on your plans there. I'm going to make it about 8. What we're looking for, our end product across here, is 5 5/16. Now, I'm not going to give it to you in decimal form. You're going to have to figure out what 5/16 is. Just went a little bit. You can see right here, this coloration in the wood is not cutting all the way to the edge. It should come all the way to the edge right there. So I'm going to drop that down a little bit. That's why I just ran through a short way. See, still not far enough. measure it. You see this? About 5 5/16, just a little bit short. Anywhere from 5 1/4 to 5 3/8 is going to be close enough. We still don't know if this is the proper angle, but we'll find out here after we cut it on the deal. We're just kind of setting it up close now. We'll fine tune it here in a minute. Going like this. Your angles need to be parallel, like so. So you run it through, pick it up, bring it back, run it through again. Run it through, bring it back, turn it over. Slow down toward the end so it doesn't chip the end of it off. Okay. We're going to bring these over here. Now, your measurements have an inside and an outside measurement, and it has an overall length and an inside length. It's the same difference. Now, for this purpose, I don't have a pencil. Hold on, cut. What you want to do is subtract the short length from the long length, and it should be roughly about 1 3/4 inches. So if it's 1 3/4 inches, what we're talking about is this way. This overall length here should be 1 3/4 inches longer than this length. So, of course, this side will be 7/8 of an inch off a square, and this side will be 7/8 off a square. Just subtract the two, your long point and your short point, and get that set up so that what you're going to be doing is about 7/8 off of each end, which would be 1 3/4 inches, and I'm going to do that now. Stop. So I'm just guessing at this point. I'm just going to move the saw in and out until I get it right on. This is what I'm saying about these angles up here. You know, you can read the angle and put it on the angle, but it's not going to be exact. That's why when you look at my DVD and you see us putting them triangles together and they fit so tight, it's because I don't use these angles. I'm working off of measurements. So we're gonna dial in this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a cut here. All right, come over here. Now, the long point on this, you see there's a long point here. There's a long point and a short point. Okay, when we're cutting this angle, we want the long point down and toward us. And that'll be on every board that you cut with the radial arm saw. You're going to do a right hand cut, then you're going to turn it over and slide it to your stop, and then you're going to do a left hand cut. And it'll always be the same. This point is down and toward you. The short side, which faces in, if you can see this angle, the short side goes up and back, okay? So I'm just going to look here. I'm going to take my speed square, which I don't have cut.
Go.
Okay, grab it. All right, so I'm just going to take this speed square, and I can see right off that I'm nowhere close to being 7/8 of an inch. So I'm going to move this over a little bit more. Take another cut. Note that the saw is still on 90. Here again, that's not quite 7/8. I can tell just by looking at it. A little more. Now accordingly, you know, if the difference between the long point and the short point is more than 1 3/4, then 7/8 isn't going to work. It's not going to be more than half. I'm going to burn that. That's 3/4, so I need to go another 1/8 of an inch. That's too much. You can see it takes a little time to set up the saw. The thing is, you're going to be cutting 60 or 180 or 240 of these. So once you get it set up, then it's good to go. You don't have to change it again. So it takes a little time, but then it's on the money. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's close enough. Okay. Okay, so I got this roughly cut in about 7/8 off here. So, like I say, we're just dialing it in. I'm gonna come over here. 1 7/8 is 1 inch and or 7/8 and 7/8 is 1 3/4. So I'm gonna make this 22 3/4. You see, long point to long point. I'm going to cut that on that mark. Now if my saw is set up correctly, this is 22 3/4. And the difference between the outside and the inside is 1 3/4. So the inside should be 21. And we're going to check that. You can see it's a little long. It's 1/4 of an inch. So it's not taking off enough. So we're going to take a smidge more. Just keep playing with it until you get it set up. This time we're going to make it 21 3/4. So this should be 20, and it's 20 1/16. So I would take some more time and go ahead and dial that in to where it's right on 20. Okay, which means slide it over, but for right now we're just going to run it like that. Okay, so now we're going to put the pitch on the blade this way. And to do that, we got to roll the saw up. The first triangle that we're working on, are you getting my face in this?
No.
Huh?
Not always.
You just get my voice? The first triangle we're working on is the blue, 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 or the EEE. And you'll notice that all the sides are the same measurement, so it's an equilateral triangle, okay? So, to make that equilateral triangle, all the interior angles have to be 60 degrees. So we know We're going to set this at 30 degrees. The first one, and you'll see that's going to be a rough, you know, because like I say, working off the angle is not going to get us where we want to be. We want to be exact, and it might be off just a hair. It looks good, you know, but you never know until you go to put it together. Okay, so here we go. Get over here. So you can see how it is. The long point after the joiner is down and this way. The long point up back here is up and out. Now I'm going to cut this angle. Now to test it, we're at 20 3/4. Gonna put a little stop on here. You'll do this with every one of the struts. Once you get it set up in position where you want it, this is cutting it to length, and we'll cut every one of them to length using a jig like this. I usually have my trash can over here to the side. I just put the ends in the trash can there like that. Okay, so we're going to look here. 20 3/4, 19 right on the button. Okay, we're going to cut the next one. We're going to cut the other two. Into the trash can. Okay, now watch. You're going to take this, you're going to turn it over and slide it over. That way the long point is still down and toward you. Okay, now we're going to take it over to the bench, to our table, and see if it checks out. When you go to making your big triangles, get over here. You see this? You're going to have to subtract this from the overall length. This should be 1 3/4. You'll know, setting up your saw, you can see that's 1 3/4. Most of them are going to be 1 3/4. It'll vary. You'll get the hang of it, but it'll vary. But start with 1 3/4. We're going to put these joints together. Look at it from the top. Look over here. Come look. You see how this overlaps? This end goes into this end. This end goes into this end goes to this. So it's always laid out the same way. You don't want to do two like this, because then it would add two pieces to one length. You see? Now the way we do it like this is because when we set it up over here, we're going to set this up like this. We're going to put some glue on there, and we're going to nail it. And I'll show you that later on. Right now we're just setting up the saw. Then you're going to turn that like so. We'll put this on here, glue it, nail that in, and so on. And let's check our fit. Okay. Now if you look, there's a couple of things going on here that aren't right. This represents our sheetrock. This is the inside. And you can see there's a little gap there and there's a little gap here. So our joiner is not set up correct. It's that angle is off. It'll be the same way with the plywood on the other side because they're parallel cuts. So if you look, right now we're making too much of an angle, so we need to go back over here. I'm just guessing, but that's off about a degree. We're going to come over here. And we're going to straighten it up just a hair. And I'm going to run through one more time. Again, over here. The long point goes down and out. You have to remember this. It has to go down and out. If you turn it around this way, where the short point is down and out, then you're going to have the angle going the wrong way. The plywood won't fit, the sheetrock won't fit. We're going to run this through again. It's going to throw off our measurements, but we're going to set the joiner up so it's running right. Now you're going to have 480 of these boards, so there's about 1,000 edges that you're going to have to run through this joiner. I have found, keep the rust off of it, sand it down with really fine metal sandpaper and oil it. Then after you get it oiled up and it's nice and clean, keep you a can of WD-40, and every so often you can hit it, just a quick spray, a little silicone on there, and it'll slide a lot easier and you won't get wore out running that thing. It's a lot of work. Okay, we're going to check our angle again. I can already tell it's standing up straighter. A lump on the table right there. Okay. I can see it's still off. It's still off, but it's not as off as it was before. You know, and like I say, take a little extra time. You can tell more on this long side than you can off this short side. But even this short side, I can see it off a little bit. Now the other part, look up here. Look up here on top. Come up on top. Is we're looking to see that this fits good in here. All three of these sides. And it's off just a little bit right there. But it's pretty close. Okay? Then the other thing is to make sure that your measurements are right. Measure the outside and the inside measurements. And if they're on the money, then you're good to go and you can start nailing. And now this is just a primer. Tomorrow we're going to set up and cut these and set them up with your measurements. I'll actually get your measurements out and read them. Right now, I want to know that you got this and that it worked all right for you. Deborah, my wife, she's behind the camera. She's gonna download this, right, honey? And try and send it to you via email. Email me and let me know that you got it and that it makes some kind of sense to you. Let me know what you think. And once I get your word on that, then we'll go ahead and start a little farther down the line. We'll go through everything tomorrow, set up a big triangle according to your measurements, get that going, show you how to put the color code on there, show you how to cut your blocking. But let me know that you got this much of it, and you know, you can work on that. Start with a table, make you a table. You don't want it too far over where you got to bend over. This one's a little short for me, but you know, everybody else likes it. That's a good height. Nice big triangle table. Joiner, radial arm saw, nail gun, nail pouch. Be careful, always first, safety first. And take pictures. You're supposed to be taking pictures for me and sending them back for the website. Okay, nice talking to you. Good luck, be careful, bye.